exceptions are okay. If they think I did a lot better, that's all right. They think we are more powerful than we prove ourselves with our numbers. But I never answer because I have purposely not remembered the exact percentage. And I don't know the exact number of votes because I think I've met every one of them already. But what I do tell them is, I can't remember that, but I know I came in third. And sometimes you can do worse than third. That's right. But someday we shall do better. But the point being is the message is crucial. Each of us have a job. Each of us have a task. And some it will be 100% within the Libertarian parties. Others it will be 100% in educational activities. Others it will be a mixture of the Libertarian Party and the Republican Party. But it's very important that we all take it upon ourselves to do whatever is possible if we care. We should care, number one reason, out of our own self-interest, if nothing else. Because we want to live in a free society, and we have been blessed. We have lived in the greatest country ever and the most prosperous. But we live in a time where a group like this know and understand that it's very precarious. Our liberties are precarious. Our military is precarious. And that this can all turn around so quickly. Most people still believe, this prosperity is eternal. It's going to last forever, and our freedoms will not be overly abused. But those who know what's coming, and yet we have had the ability to, and the benefits of what a free society was all about. We did have a reasonably good, if not the very best, Constitution ever. But it's been undermined. The Constitution has very little value in Washington, although every member of Congress someday, one day or another, will cite the Constitution. I figure they support the Constitution 1 out of 10 times. And when they support it that one time out of 10, they let you know about it. And they go and they say, oh, they have something that I can't let this pass. This is unconstitutional. But then the next day they vote for 9 things that are unconstitutional as well. But the Constitution has not held check. So we have a constitutional crisis. We have a crisis among the people. The numbers are difficult to get much encouragement because there are so many people receiving checks. Half the people are getting things from the government. And until the people realize it's in their interest not to continue this welfare warfare state, they're going to continue to do it. But that's going to come. I think one of the events of our generation that it cannot and has not gone unnoticed was 1989. The disintegration of the Soviet Union without a military attack. And Mises, of course, predicted it wouldn't work anyway. I don't know why they didn't listen to him in 1912 when he explained it. They tried it anyway, and they killed hundreds of millions of people, and communism doesn't work. But the political system crumbled with very, very little violence. And that very well could happen here. I think the welfare warfare state is going to continue. The one dream I have before I leave Congress is to have another libertarian in Congress where I can at least have a conversation. But our efforts, we should not let up on them. Because of this crisis that's building, the responsibility is very clear and very strong on what we have to do. Because when the crisis hits, the question is will we be better off? Will they allow California to secede and Texas to secede? No, not likely, although the Soviet bloc broke up. But that's a little bit different. And besides, in this country now, we have to contend with our state capitals as well as our national capitals. Sometimes they're not very libertarian either. But we do need to be prepared. So the effort, my efforts personally, have very rarely been political. I'm not into politics per se, and it's almost a byproduct that I end up getting elected. Because I go with 1 in 10, and that is to do my part in trying to deliver a message which I think is important for my future, my family's future, for the country's future, to try to preserve what was given to us. and that is a free society. And of course, we're now challenging the 20th century. In the 19th century, they generally had a grasp of what liberty was all about, that freedom meant you had civil liberties and right to own property, and we didn't police the world, and the general public agrees generally with that. But here we have conservatives saying, oh, we are the protectors of private property and free enterprise, and liberals saying, we protect civil liberties and we're anti-war. But there's only one problem with that. These conservatives aren't even very good anymore in protecting private property. And liberals aren't very good at protecting civil liberties. They think that's political correctness. And too often, both sides, depending on who they want to fight, are pro-war. And the difficulty that we have there is very, very obvious. You know, that how are we going to convert these people? And yet, I am encouraged. I'm encouraged because compared to the 70s and early 80s, we have more allies. Wherever I go, the radio shows are loaded with people who agree with us. And that was not so 20 and 30 years ago. But it's more so now, and it will become more necessary once they see this building up, and we'll have to make a decision. But you're not going to have it done through legislative fiat. We're not going to get 1 more, 2 more, 5 more, and finally get a majority and finally vote a sensible budget. I don't believe that for a minute. You say, well, what are you going there? Well, it's a holding action, maybe win one here, win there, but hopefully influence other people and to our views. But it's going to stop because the system won't function, because we can't afford it. We're broke. We're more broke than most people realize. This government is no wealthier than Enron. Procedures of the U.S. government are more corrupt on the way they keep their books. And that's why it will come to an end. And that's why we have to have an answer. And we have to set our goal. When I first ran for Congress many, many years ago, I thought, well, this will give me a chance to talk about the issues I thought were important and to set a standard or a goal. Never once believing anybody would elect me. And my wife told me, she said, you know, this could be a dangerous thing for you running for Congress. It's going to mess up your practice. I said, what do you mean dangerous? She said, you could end up getting elected. But I assured her, with all in sincerity, that could not possibly happen. And you wouldn't have to worry about it. But which goes back to even we may be surprised, whether it's my surprisal of winning the election in '96. Against all those forces of evil. Now, there's some real forces of evil. No, and so some of these times we can win victories that we don't really anticipate. So our efforts have to be very, very diligent, especially now under these conditions, with the preparation that we are soon getting to a point where this may come about and the crisis may hit. Now, I imagine that we wanted a little bit of time for questions if we could, but so let me finish. Let me finish with a quote, and it sounds a little bit self-serving, but you'll understand it because it applies to all of us. And it came from James Kilpatrick out of the 1988 Libertarian campaign. I remember meeting him very clearly at the Capitol. We had lunch in the Capitol dining room. And he wrote something that I thought was very interesting. He says, the interesting thing is that Ron Paul believes. He truly believes. He believes in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and he believes that society prospers when the people rely on their own resources first and look to the government last. He regards politicians as a breed of hypocrites who are in favor of economy until an economy affects their constituents. In the newspaper business, we seldom meet true believers. It is therefore a refreshing experience to spend an hour talking with Paul. Viewed in the real world, his proposals are preposterous, impossible, unachievable, and yet,
from sea shining sea. Oh, beautiful for spacious sky.